Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you the most recent program I made in Python for my computer science class. Let's open this up here. Okay, has my code open from last time I was using it. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you guys through this, show you exactly what I did here and how the program works. So first of all, you need to import all the things you're going to use. Turtle, of course, random, turtle speed, let's see. I'm going to change this here real quick. I just had it set at 100 because I was using that for testing it. I don't want to have to sit there waiting for it to go through slowly each time, but it's more enjoyable to watch at a slower speed. So I'm going to go ahead and set that there. Then, after you do that, you need to go ahead and import the functions, or create the functions that you're going to want to use later on to make this this turtle picture, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making a picture with turtles, and the idea of this program is to use functions to make that job easier, so that it's a lot less repetitive. Okay, so we have our functions defined here. First, we have the function to draw a line. It's just making a line from point A to point B, basically. And here we have to make a function. All you do is say DEF for the definition of the function. You go ahead and put the function name that you want to use, in this case draw a line, and then the variables that will be used in that function, x1, y1, x2, y2 here. And that's just a really simple function. Most of these are really. I just found these in my book. They had these functions already there, so I just had to type them into my Python program. This function here is to write a string at point x, y, and that will just write out a string of text, whatever you want to say in your Python program. And you can see here it says write text, and these are the variables that you use. S will be the string, and x, y are the coordinates that will be written at. Okay, we have the function to draw a point at x, y. So we called it draw point, and it just makes a circle of radius 3 at whatever point you want. The next one down here, we have the function we defined of a circle centered at point x, y. This will just make a circle around whatever point that you want it to be. You just set x, y, and then the radius. You set that as well. Okay, the next function we have here is a function of a rectangle centered around a point. This is a little more difficult than the circle because you actually have to go and you say x plus the width divided by 2 and y plus the height divided by 2. So that way your end rectangle will be centered exactly around the point that you want it to be. Okay, now for the function that I created. It's a Koch snowflake, which is a fractal shape. And fractal shapes are basically shapes that have a repeating pattern that just continues and goes on, and it can basically go on indefinitely if you want it to. They're kind of cool shapes because with a fractal shape, the perimeter can just keep increasing, but it has a set area that it can't go over. Anyway, that's what I used for this snowflake that I created. So I went ahead and defined it. I said k line for Koch line, and we have the variables here forward and num. And we say here that if num equals 0, that means that this fractal shape has a depth of 0, which means it basically has no pattern at all. It'll just draw a straight line. Otherwise, if it does have a deeper depth than 0, we'll go ahead and divide forward, which will be the distance or the size of our fractal shape here. We'll go ahead and divide that by 3, and then we're going to use that as the new distance that it will travel, because it's going to go 1/3 of the distance, then it's going to turn and make a point, that's 1/3 of the distance as well, and then another third of the distance will go straight. So that it makes basically a straight line with a little point in it. We do this, and that's just a line. We just went ahead and defined this line, which is one side of the snowflake. Then we come down here, and this is the actual snowflake itself. What we do for that is we just say for I in range 0 to 3, so we're going to make this line that we defined up here 3 times. So it actually starts out as an equilateral triangle, and from there it puts a point on each side of the triangle, and then it'll put points on each of those sides if we want it to, depending on the depth, and it'll just keep on doing that. For here I just have a depth of 2 because otherwise the program takes too long to run. Okay, so now we have all of our functions defined. We come down here and we use them to go ahead and make our picture. Okay, so first I made the snowman. I just gave him 3 circles to make a snowman, the base, the body, and the head. Then I gave him some eyes using the draw point function. And I used the draw point function again for his smile here. I just used it like little pieces of coal to make his smile. His arms, I just used the draw line function that I defined to make like little stick arms. And then again the draw point function for his buttons on his chest. Then behind him I have a snow fort, which I used the draw rectangle function for, and I just made a bunch of little rectangles as a fort there. And then for the write text function, I just had my snowman like in a little thought bubble saying Python is fun. I had him, it's just have the circles leading up to that. You'll see that when I show you the picture. And then down here, before I make the snowflakes, I went ahead and I sped it up again to 100 because the snowflakes take a while to draw, and if I have it at 3 or 5 or something, the program will just take way too long. I have this count here to determine exactly how many snowflakes I want. I want 50 snowflakes. So I just have that count there for that. And I have this random here. I have the turtle. Each time it goes through the while loop, I have it go to a random location between -300 and 300. And that just ensures that the snowflake will be at random places each time. Okay, so now that I showed you this, let's go ahead and look at what it does. Okay, here you see us just drawing the snowman out. Draw his eyes and a smile here. His little stick arms and his buttons. And here's the fort behind him. You can see it kind of goes off the page here a little bit, but I figured that wasn't too big a deal. Here's this little thought bubble here. And he says programming with Python is fun. There you go. And there it starts making the snowflakes. You can see even going at speed of 100, the snowflakes still are going to take quite a while to draw, simply because 50 snowflakes takes a while. I had actually tried giving these snowflakes a depth of 3 on the fractal, but because it looked better. Having a depth of 3, the snowflake looked more like an actual snowflake. But I actually decided against that because when I tried it, this program just took a long time to run, and I figured it just wasn't too big a deal since the snowflakes are so small anyway. You can't make out much of the details, so I figured it really wasn't a big deal if I just had them have a depth of 2. And you can see here I have all the snowflakes within that -300 to 300 range. I just kept them all at locations within that area. Okay, there you have it. There's my program. I hope you enjoyed watching this.